Shabbat Shalom and welcome to Temple Emeth in Teaneck, New Jersey. This evening we will be using Mishkan Tefillah. Take a moment right now to bring your prayer book to the screen, and if you don't have a copy, you can access one, preferably on a second device, from the live stream page of our website, emeth.org/livestream, by scrolling down to the section that says to access the Siddur, the prayer book. And the same, you can click through to the part that says Mishkan Tefillah for Shabbat, weekdays, and festivals. This version will have the same page numbers that we'll use in the service. Please also take a moment to greet your fellow worshipers by posting Shabbat Shalom and perhaps your name and location in the chat or comment section of your live stream platform. By doing this, we create bonds of virtual community over the internet. I am Cantor Ellen Tillum. It's lovely to have you all here tonight, as well as those sitting in our sanctuary. Shabbat Shalom, everybody. Rabbi Serve You is off tonight because I drew the short straw. No, because I was off Shabbat Shuvah in between Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur, and we tried to take turns this year getting a little break, and Rabbi Serve You is having a well-deserved break. So I am very glad to be welcoming members of our congregation to the Bima this Shabbat. Tonight, I am joined by Michael Goldberg, who you will see in just a moment, and he will be helping to read parts of our service. And you may not have read it in your email because it wasn't decided yet, but I'm also welcoming Amanda Eastman, who will help me with some of the singing this evening. Her dad is waving at her from the sanctuary. You should see it, folks. So that's why you didn't know about it. Amanda would have also liked an email letting her know that she's singing, but she just found out. So that's how we roll here at Temple Emeth. Come join us sometime. So we begin our service this evening with the lighting of our Shabbat candles, which can be found in your prayer book on page 121 and 120. And I'm thrilled to welcome Julie Weissman to light the candles for Shabbat.
Lights are only flickering flames, yet flames illumine our uncertain steps. Flames purify and renew, soften and refine. They brighten and make warm. Flames remind us of Sabbaths long past and of their beauty that delights our hearts. May they inspire us to work for the great Sabbath of peace. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu l'chadlikner shel Shabbat.
Amen. Oh, hear my prayer, I sing to you. Be gracious to the ones I love, and bless them with goodness and mercy and peace. Oh, hear my prayer to you. Oh, hear my prayer, I sing to you. Be gracious to the ones I love, and bless them with goodness and mercy and peace. Oh, hear my prayer to you. Let us light
us light these lights and see the way to you, and let us say Amen.
Please rise for the Kiddush.
Okay.
As evening falls, we give thanks for the blessings of the past week, for life and strength, for work and rest, for home, love, and community. As we enjoy this bounty, may we be inspired to bring goodness into the lives of others. We raise a cup of wine in gratitude for the miracle of creation and for the gift of this day of rest. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei pri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav. V'ratzavanu v'shabbat kodsho, behava uvratzon, hinchaltanu, zikaron lema'aseh v'reshit, ki hu yom tehila, lemikra'e kodesh, zecher letziat Mitzrayim, ki vanu v'charta, ve'otanu kidashta, mikol ha'amim, v'shabbat kadshecha, be'ahava uvratzon, hinchaltanu. Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh hashabbat. Amen.
L'chaim. Please be seated.
We turn to page 127. There are days when we seek things for ourselves and measure failure by what we do not gain. On Shabbat, we seek not to acquire, but to share. There are days when we exploit nature as if we're a horn of plenty that can never be exhausted. On Shabbat, we stand in wonder before the mystery of creation. There are days when we act as if we cared nothing for the rights of others. On Shabbat, we remember that justice is our duty and a better world our goal. So we embrace Shabbat, day of rest, day of wonder, day of peace. Our opening song is Hine Ma Tov. Continue on page 143. And Jacob left Beersheba and set out for Haran. Coming upon a certain place, he passed the night there, for the sun was setting. Taking one of the stones of the place, he made it his headrest as he lay down in that place. he dreamed, and lo, a ladder was set on the ground, with its top reaching to heaven, and lo, angels of God going up and coming down on it. And lo, Adonai stood up above it and said, I, Adonai, am the God of your father Abraham, and the God of Isaac. The land on which you are lying I will give to you and to your descendants. And your descendants shall be like the dust of the earth, and you shall spread out to the west and the east and the north and the south. Through you and your descendants, all the families of the earth shall find blessing. And here I am with you. I will watch over you wherever you go, and I will bring you back to the soil. I will not let go of you as long as I have yet to do what I have promised you. Waking from his sleep, Jacob said, Truly Adonai is in this place, and I did not know it. He was awestruck and said, How awe-inspiring is this place! This is nothing other than the house of God, and this is the gate of heaven.
Yitkadash Shemei Rabbah Ve'amad v'rach v'rotei v'yomtiv mahotei v'chayikon v'yom echad v'chayei T'chol Beit Yisrael Ba'gala U'vizman kariv V'imiru Amen Yehi Shmei Rabbah mevarach Le'olam olam me'olamaya Yitbarach V'yishtabach V'yitbar v'yitomam v'yitnazeh V'yitadar v'yitaleh V'yitala Shemei K'risha b'richu Leila mikol b'chata v'shirata Tush b'chata v'nechemata Damiran be'alma V'imiru Amen.
We rise for Baruch Hu.
Baruch Hu et Adonai hamivarach. Baruch Adonai hamivarach leolam va'ed.
Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, ruler of the universe, who speaks the evening into being, skillfully opens the gates, thoughtfully alters the time and changes the seasons, and arranges the stars in their heavenly courses according to plan. You are creator of day and night, rolling light away from darkness and darkness from light, transforming day into night and distinguishing one from the other. Adonai Sevaot is your name. Ever-living God, may you reign continually over us into eternity. Blessed are you, Adonai, who brings on evening. Baruch atah Adonai, Hama'ariv Araviv. Everlasting love, you offered your people Israel by teaching us Torah and mitzvot, laws and precepts. Therefore, Adonai our God, when we lie down and when we rise up, we will meditate on your laws and your commandments. We will rejoice in your Torah forever. Day and night we will reflect on them, for they are our life, and doing them lengthens our days. Never remove your love from us. Praise to you, Adonai, who loves your people Israel. Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael.
Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu
kivod shem kivod malchuto leolam vaed. Baruch shem kivod malchuto leolam vaed. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad.
Please be seated.
V'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavcha u'b'chol nafshecha u'b'chol meodecha. V'hayu ha'devarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha. V'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam b'shiftecha b'veitecha u'v'lechtecha v'derech u'v'shochbecha u'v'kumecha u'kshartam leot al yadecha v'hayu letotafot bein einecha u'chtavtam al mezuzot beitecha u'visharecha. Leman tiskeru v'asitem et kol mitzvotai v'tem kedoshim le'Elohechem. Ani Adonai Elohechem asher hotzeiti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim lihiot lachem le'Elohim. Ani Adonai Elohechem Adonai Elohechem emet.
We continue on page 157. Standing on the parted shores of history, we still believe what we were taught before we stood at Sinai's foot, that wherever we go, it is eternally Egypt, and there is a better place, a promised land, that the winding way to that promise passes through the wilderness, that there is no way to get from here to there except by joining hands, marching together.
Ugalog me'ad chazak mimenu, Baruch ata Adonai, Ga'al Yisrael.
Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Adonai, help us to walk with good companions, to live with hope in our hearts and eternity in our thoughts, that we may lie down in peace and rise up waiting to do your will. Baruch atah Adonai, haforesh sukat shalom, aleinu v'al kol amo Yisrael, v'al Yerushalayim.
V'shamru b'nei Yisrael et ha'shalom olam, berit olam. Beini uvein bnei Yisrael, oti leolam. Beini uvein bnei Yisrael, oti leolam. Ki sheshet yamim asa Adonai et hashamayim ve'et haaretz. Uvayom hashvi'i Shabbat vayinavash. Uvayom hashvi'i Shabbat vayinavash.
Please rise for the tefillah.
Adonai sifatai tiftachu fi yagi tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu ve'Elohei avotenu v'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el HaGadol HaGibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim, Tovim v'Korei Akol, V'zocher Chasdei Avot v'Imahot, U'mevii Gula livnei v'neihem, Leman Shema Be'ava, Melech Ozer, Mashiach U'Magen, Baruch Atah Adonai, Magid Avraham, Vezrat Sarah, Atah Gibor Leolam Adonai, Mechayei HaKol Atarav Le'Oshia, Morid HaTal, Mechalkel Chaim Bechesed, Mechayei HaKol Berachamim Rabim, Samech Noflim V'Rotei Cholim, Umatir Asurim, Umikayem Emunato, Lishenei Afar, Michamocha Bal Gvurot, Umido Melach, Melech Memit, Umechayeh, Umatmiach Yeshua, V'ne'eman Talach Hayot HaKol, Baruch Atah Adonai, Mechayei Akul. Atah Kadosh v'Shimcha Kadosh, U'Kedoshim b'chol yom Hallelujah Selah, Baruch Atah Adonai, Ha'el HaKadosh.
Our service continues on page 175. You are with us in our prayer, our love and our doubt, in our longing to feel your presence and do your will. You are the still, clear voice within us. Therefore, O God, when doubt troubles us, when anxiety makes us tremble, when pain clouds the mind, we look inward for the answers to our prayers. There may we find you, and there find courage, insight, and endurance. And let our worship bring us closer to one another, that all Israel and all who seek you may find new strength for your service. Baruch atah Adonai, she'odka levadcha b'yida na'arod. Please be seated. We continue page 179. Grant us peace, your most precious gift, O eternal source of peace, and give us the will to proclaim this message to all the peoples of the earth. Bless our country as a safeguard of peace, its advocate among the nations. May contentment reign within our borders, health and happiness within our homes. Strengthen the bonds of friendship and fellowship among all the inhabitants of every land. Plant virtue in every soul, and may the love of your name hallow every home and every heart. Praised are you, Eternal One, who blesses our people with peace. Baruch atah Adonai, hambarei et amo Yisrael b'shalom. We continue with the silent prayer. Inspirational readings are found on page 180 to 181.
Israel Amcha Tasim Leolam Shalom Rav Israel Amcha Tasim Leolam Shalom Rav Israel Amcha Tasim Leolam Shalom Israel Amcha Tasim Leolam Ki Ata Melech Adon L'chol Hashalom Ki Ata Melech Adon L'chol Hashalom Shalom Rav Israel Tasim Leolam Shalom Rav Al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam V'tov B'einecha Levarech Et Amcha Yisrael B'chol Eid U'B'chol Shah Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam Tasim Leolam Tasim
Our service continues on page 363 with the Torah service.
In the middle of page 363, assemble the people, men, women, and children, and the strangers in your cities, to hear, to learn, to revere Adonai your God, to observe faithfully the words of this Torah, and let their children who do not yet know it hear, that they too may learn to revere Adonai your God. We continue in the middle of the next page.
Mi Adonai iti, uneromim Shemo yachdav. Lecha Adonai hagedula, v'hagevura, v'hatiferet, v'hanetzach v'yahod. Ki Yehovah shamayim hu v'aretz, ki Yehovah shamayim hu v'aretz. Lecha Adonai hamamlacha, v'yamid nasei lechol erosh.
Please be seated. So you can go have a seat behind me. Yeah, I'm going to give you the card.
Okay.
Yeah, no problem. Okay. Michael, I'm moving your book over here. I didn't realize the Torah wasn't there yet. I had no idea. Okay. I was not watching. Thank you. There's this. Okay. Oh, you know what I need in your script? There's a page number as well. There it is. This evening, I will be chanting from the end of the Torah, from Parshat Ha'azinu. And Parshat Ha'azinu can be found in your Plaut Chumash, the original, meaning the blue, 1556, page 1556, or in the revised Plaut, the newer one, 1400. If some of you at home have the revised one, I think, so that's why we're saying that. This is Deuteronomy 32 that we'll be chanting. So I wanted to talk for a minute about Ha'azinu. Ha'azinu is a poem. It's written like a poem in two columns, much like Shirat Hayam, the Song of the Sea, is written, only this one is Moses' song, Moses' last song. And in fact, Moses is reading these words as he is told that this will be his last day, that he will not live to go on to see the land of Israel, that he will die on this very day, and he ends up singing this song, this poem that we're going to read the beginning of. It begins by talking about heaven and earth. And Ha'azinu, literally, when we listen to the word, it has that word in the middle, ozen, ears. Okay, so we know it has something to do with listening. And in the very first sentence we read that Moses says, "Give ear, heavens, and I will speak. Listen, earth, to the words of my mouth." This tells us that Moses is in between two worlds at this point, that he is both with heaven and on earth. It reminds us that when he says, "Give ear," it almost sounds like he's saying that you have to hear something, listen carefully, as if someone is far away. But if you hear that word ha'azinu, to listen, it's a little different than give ear. To listen, someone could be close. Hey, listen, I have to tell you something. So we understand from this that Moses is between these two worlds, that he is closer at this point to heaven than he is to earth. The people of Israel and their reaction to this, we are told by commentators, is difficult. They don't accept this news. They do not accept that Moses will be gone from their midst. Why? because Moses was for them everything. A leader, a teacher, one who guided them along their journey. And to think of going on without him was a very difficult thought. And in fact, some commentators say that the children of Israel tried to argue with God, tried to keep God from taking Moses from among them, to keep God from decreeing that this would be Moses' last day. There's a teaching, though, in Chassidus that the beauty of this day can be found in the way that we carry on, even to this day, the spark of Moses. That each of us has something that was within Moses, within us. In fact, and you'll often hear us say this here at a time of a birthday, a time of a celebration, we'll say Ad Mea Ve'esrim, until 120. Because we're told that Moses lived until 120. This acknowledges that each of us has that leader within us. Each of us has a guide. Each of us has a teacher within us. And of course, on a personal note, and for speaking for this congregation, it did not escape me when I was learning about Ha'azinu today. It wasn't the first time I had read Ha'azinu, certainly, but it was the first time that I understood it in a different way, and we are really missing our dear Mark Klausner this Shabbat, who would certainly be here, if not sitting right there roaming the halls, but listening to the music. And if I had, for a moment, compared him ever to Moses, he would have let out that giant laugh and laughed right in my face, because he would never have seen himself that way. And I don't say it because there's some, incredible greatness in any of us, but I do say it because Mark was so many things to this synagogue. A guide and a teacher and a helper, and one who, I call him, when I was describing Mark to people who were not from Temple Emeth, I used the word that he was our gabbai. We used to say our shamish when we were growing up, right, as kids. He was the one that would kind of do everything else. Whatever wasn't being done, Mark would pick those things up. And so in that way, I am saddened to read Ha'azinu. I am saddened to read of Moses' last day on earth, because it is a stark reminder of those that are not here. Additionally, we can take this portion and look a little bit at Sukkot. Sukkot, which will start on Monday night. We were going to have some snacks in our sukkah tonight, but I think it's too wet. And since we couldn't say a bracha anyway, we were not officially going in the sukkah. It was more just to be outdoors. I do want to just mention a very brief connection between this portion and Sukkot. The sukkah represents our everything, our everyday life, and at the same time, it's a holy place, a spiritual realm. When we go into the sukkah, we are told that we should kind of bring in, to soak up the kedusha, the holiness of the sukkah. And yet, we're doing everyday things in the sukkah. We're eating meals. My family, we're playing games. We're socializing, doing things that we do every day in our homes. So the sukkah is a thing that is both in heaven and on earth. It is very regular and yet very holy. And so I really like that connection that we can make between Ha'azinu and Sukkot. At this time, I'm going to chant a few verses from the beginning of Ha'azinu. Ha'azinu, by the way, is one of the songs, for those of you that like little trope music things about ta'amim, about the notes that go with the Torah. Ha'azinu does not have a special trope of its own. So interesting. Why? I don't know. It should. It doesn't. Okay. So I'm going to put this here. If you can, I don't know what you can see. You can see the Torah. I'm looking at the screen. You can see the Torah. Look at this. One little bit left here on this side where we're going to finish up, and all this on the other side. Look at where we've come from. Wow. When we look back, we can see how much of the journey we've lived and how much we have left. And then we're going to start all over Simchat Torah with Bereshit right at the beginning. Jackie, come right here to my right. I'm going to move over an inch. Give you a little space there.
Baruch es Adonai Hamvarach.
Baruch Adonai Hamvarach Leolam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hamvarach Leolam Va'ed. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech HaOlam Asher Barucha Banu Mikol Ha'amim V'natan Lanu et Torato. Baruch Atah Adonai Noten HaTorah.
Amen. Amen. Ha'azinu hashamayim va'adabera v'tishma ha'aretz imre fi yarov kamatar lichi tizal katar imrati kisirim ale deshev v'chirvivim ale esev ki shem Adonai ekra havu godel lelo heinu Hatzur tamim palo ki chol derachav mishpat el emuna ve'ein avel tzadik v'yashar hu shichet lo banav milmam dor ikesh uvtalatol haladonai tigmelu zot im naval v'lo chacham Halohu avicha kanecha u'ascha vayichonenecha.
Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech HaOlam Asher Natan Lanu Torah Emet V'chayei Olam Nata B'torchenu. Baruch Atah Adonai Noten HaTorah.
Amen. Very nice, thank you. At this time, we continue with Mishaberach, keeping in mind those who are in need of healing. Those who are in need of healing of body, of spirit, of soul. Those who are in need of emotional healing, physical healing, spiritual healing. We keep them all in mind. If you'd like to share a name, those in the sanctuary can do so out loud or in your heart. Those at home, you're more than welcome to post a name in the chat. As we sing Mishaberach tonight, you will see the names of those we are thinking of as a community scrolling on the screen. Mishaberach Avoteinu Mikor habracha limotenu. May the source of strength, who blessed the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Mishaberach imotenu mikol habracha lavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the
the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen.
At this time, we return the Torah to the ark. Before that, we will say, Vizot HaTorah, interesting with Moses. We'll do Hagba and Galila, the lifting and dressing of the Torah. And when we say Vizot HaTorah, Asher Sam Moshe, Lifnei B'nai Yisrael. This is what Moses said. This is the Torah. And so we are going to continue with the lifting and dressing of the Torah. It's tough. Okay, hold on. Okay, and you should scoop it. Don't pick it up that way because it'll be just so heavy this way now. You know what I'm saying? Okay. It's just dragging everything. There we go. Yeah, there you go. Vizot HaTorah asher sam Moshe Livnei B'nai Yisrael al pi Adonai biyad Moshe. Yala layla la la yala layla. Lay 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 lay. Yay lay 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 yala lay 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 lay. Yala lay yala lay lay lay. Yala lay 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 lay. Yala lay 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 lay. Yala lay 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 lay. Yay lay lay lay. Yay lay lay lay. Yala lay 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 lay. Yala lay yala lay lay lay. Yala lay 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 lay. Yala lay 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 lay. Yala lay 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 lay. Yay lay lay lay. Yay lay lay lay. Yala lay 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 lay. Yala lay yala lay lay lay. We continue at this time as we return the Torah to the ark.
Yeah, hallelujah, Shem Adonai, Ki nizkar shemo levado, Hadar eretz v'shamayim, vayarem keren li'amo, tehillah lechol hasidav, Livnei Yisrael am kiravo. Hallelujah, hallelujah. Ki lekach tov natati lachem torati al tazovu. Itzayim hi lamachazikim etamcha me'ushar dirachar tarvinam v'chol netivotah shalom. Hashivenu Adonai elecha v'nashuva Chodesh, Chodesh Yamenu, Chodesh Yamenu Kedem.
We remain standing for Aleinu, found on page 586 on the bottom of the page.
Aleinu l'shabeach la'adon ha'kol la'teit gedula liotzer b'reshit shelo asani k'goyei haratzot v'lo samanu k'mishpachot ha'adama shelo sam chelkeinu kahem v'gor aleinu k'chol hamonam v'anachanu korim Mishtachavim umodim lifnei melech malachei hamlachim hakadosh baruch hu. V'nemar v'haya Adonai lemelech al kol haaretz bayom hahu bayom hahu Yom Adonai echad u'shemo 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 echad.
Please be seated. Unfortunately, I don't have a Kaddish list over there. I'm going to grab it from here. Excuse me. Okay, sorry, streaming people. Sorry in the booth that I just blanked out your screen. I apologize. At this time, our thoughts turn to those who have departed this earth, our own loved ones, those whom our friends and neighbors have lost, the martyrs of our people whose graves are unmarked, and those of every race and nation whose lives have been a blessing to humanity. As we remember them, we meditate on the meaning of love and loss, of life and death. We think of at this time those for whom we are observing Shloshim, the 30 days after their passing. Renee Honey Dillon, mother of Hildy Dillon. Ralph Zakin, father of Ace Zakin. Arlene Hirschfelder, Temple member and wife of Dennis Hirschfelder. Betty Beaver, remembered by David and Karen Duguid. And Mark Klausner, Temple member, mother of Sarah Klausner, cousin of Susan Klausner. We also think of those for whom we are observing Yahrzeit, the anniversary of their passing. Jack Bloomfield, Rhea Amber Bashas, Martha Broder, Tom Cripps, Frank Dennis, William I. Dillon, Herman Fleischman, Edith Gould, Jay Greenspan, Myrna Grossman, Abraham Haber, Dorothy Haber, Jerome Haber, Louis Hahn, Francis Harris, Barbara Kaufman, Sidney Kaufman, Samuel Klein, Mary Kopoloff, Ray Kosakoff, Max Krumholtz, Marion Kurtz, Anna Levenstein, Samuel Levin, George M. Levitas, Joseph Lieberman, Rose Michelin, Jane Millman, David Paul, Erwin Polishuk, Joseph Salomon, Jack Shiner, Belvin Simpson, John Stein, Ella Straussman, Rabbi Joshua Trachtenberg, Tzipora Tippy Ullman, Fanny Wharton, Leo Weil, Reuben Weisbard, Ruth Winkler, Pearl Winters, and Bernice Witt. Our griefs and sympathies are mingled. We continue now as we recite Kaddish. We rise and turn to page 598. Yitgadal v'yitgadash shemei Rabbah, be'almad yivarach yirutei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayei uvyomei uv'chayei dechol beit Yisrael, ba'gala uv'izman kariv imru amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mivarach leolam ulalmei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh. V'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shemei dekudesha brichu. Leila mikol birchata v'shirata. Tushbechata v'nechemata. Damiran be'alma v'imru amen. Yehesh lama rabba min shemaya v'chaim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom bimromav huya aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. May the source of peace send peace to those of you who are in mourning, comforting you with all of the bereaved amongst the house of Israel, as together we say, Amen. Please be seated.
At this time, it is my pleasure to introduce Michael Goldberg, member of the Board of Trustees, to tell you about this week's announcements. Okay.
Employment is difficult these days. It's hard to get good people.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone. On behalf of the Board of Trustees, it is my pleasure to welcome you to our Shabbat Evening Service. Join us for our celebrations of Sukkot and Simchat Torah. On Monday evening, September 20th at 6:15, we'll celebrate Erev Sukkot and our Bereshit Beginnings consecration service. And on Tuesday morning at 10:30, we'll host Temple Sinai for a collaborative festival service, followed by a light Kiddush lunch in the Sukkah. On Monday evening, September 27th at 6:30, we'll celebrate Simchat Torah with music, dancing, and a special candy oneg. On Tuesday, the 28th at 10:30, our service will include Yitzka and changing of the Torah covers back to the year-round covers. Between these two holidays, I hope you'll join us at Shabbat services on Friday, September 24th at 8 p.m., as we celebrate our new museum exhibit of pandemic portraits taken by Temple photographer Barbara Balkin. A reception will follow the service with refreshments served in the sukkah. This year's Rabbi Joshua Trachtenberg Memorial Lecture will welcome Professor Nancy Sinkhoff of Rutgers University. Her topic will be How Enlightened Was Enlightenment Berlin? The lecture, which is part of our One Book, One Synagogue program, featuring an After the Fire, will be given on Zoom on Sunday, October 10th at 11 a.m. Watch for details in your upcoming emails. Thank you to this evening's volunteers and the live stream control room, Meredith and Allegra Alvero. We were planning on having an oneg in the sukkah, but due to the weather, we could still have the oneg, but we'll have to go outside for that. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
At this point, can I do the introduction?
It says board member descends Bima, but do not. Stay right where you are because, see, you're on camera.
I'm not leaving.
Okay.
No. So we have a special treat right now. The closing song is a combination of Kanta, Tom, and Amanda. It's going to be great. Page 677. Oh, guide my steps.
Oh, guide my steps and help me find my way. I need your shelter now. Rock me in your arms and guide my steps. guide my steps and help me make this day a song of praise to you. Rock me in your arms and guide my steps and help me find my way. I need your shelter now. Rock me in your arms and guide my steps. Guide my steps and help me find my way. I need your shelter now. Rock me in your arms and guide my steps and help me make this day a song of praise to you. Rock me in your arms and guide my steps. Shelter now, rock me in your arms and guide my steps, and help me rock this day, a song of praise to you. Rock me in your arms and guide my steps. Rock me in your arms and guide my steps.
Thank you very much. We're laughing because we rehearsed it differently, but it came out good this time too. First of all, thank you very much to Michael Goldberg for leading us beautifully in prayer. Really appreciate it, Michael. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Kanta.
Sure. Nice to have you here, and for being the board member. Thanks to Amanda with her glorious, gorgeous voice that just gets better and better every day. She sounded phenomenal on the holidays. She sounded absolutely gorgeous tonight. So proud, so impressed. Amanda, you're terrific. I love singing with you. And Tom's incredible. Tom just makes all that up. No joke. He really does. He's doing it as he goes along. He's just that talented. We're very lucky to have Tom here at Temple Emeth every week and over the holidays. And Tom, we're blessed to have you here. Thanks. So if you would like to say something nice, now's the time to do it by posting it in the chat. Or if you want to say, "Oy," you could say that too, but there's still a few holidays left, so let's try and keep it on the up and up. So thank you, everybody, and I am wishing you all a beautiful Shabbat, a week of peace and blessing, and a year of sweetness and good health. Please be here for all of our holiday services and tomorrow morning. Shabbat Shalom from Temple Emeth in Teaneck, New Jersey. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.